G'day punters, welcome to the deep dive where I have just discovered where some of the revenue has been going that the younger people haven't been able to spend out on the town due to the relentless and repetitive lockdowns we've been forced to deal with. There was a stack of Jude Boltons just pounding the pavement as I exercised this morning. Peter, you concur?
Well, look, if you're not able to spend your money travelling, you know, what, your 5 to 10 grand mark, you've got to spend it on something else. I'm not sure if private health necessarily covers that sort of behaviour this day and age, but if you're able to, why not?
Activewear for days too. Imagine we should have bought shares in activewear early in this pandemic.
Yeah. Can you actually get elective surgeries done during the lockdown in Victoria?
Oh, they'd find a way, wouldn't they?
Well, I might get a bit of fat frozen on my ass and chisel it off after all the beers I've been drinking and start to set in a bit.
Speaking of like the lockdowns, what about old Harvey? If Jerry sent, if you bought, we're about to buy a couple of TVs, and we might look at old Harvos. If we order 3 and he sends us 6, can we just send one back of the 3 extra he gave us?
What about the timing of Jerry?
That's what he's doing with JobKeeper, isn't it?
What about Jerry's timing of returning the JobKeeper money just before the expose on 60 Minutes in the parliamentary inquiry and questioning that's going on about it? Elite work from Jerry. He's too good.
He's too good. Like, we've done really well through the pandemic, the mailbag, so we're unable as a business to claim any kind of benefit from the government. Like, what chance are you of ever getting to their level or near it when the rich get that? God bless them. God bless them. And just while we're talking about stuff that's not racing, I've had another thought. How gone is democracy as a thing if a person who decides, I don't want to get vaccinated, but I'm going to ingest horse wormer, has the same fucking say in who governs us as a person like one of us who does what we're told? How is that a thing? If I run the country, which I never would, I would just say, hey, mate, don't worry about it. You know, we'll fix your diarrhea. We'll fix your guts up. Live and learn. Probably don't take horse wormer. Good news is, if you fill out this form, you're going to be able to get welfare for the majority of your life because you're a fucking imbecile. But also, you'd be unable to vote, which they're probably going to be happy about.
I've got no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds very entertaining.
People in New South Wales are presenting to emergency departments with vomiting and diarrhea because they've ingested horse wormer in an attempt to stop COVID, Peter.
I mean, people ingest all sorts of horse medications for various reasons, but I'm sure not all of those are to prevent COVID. Maybe read what's on the label next time. Just saying. Speaking
of the ingestion of that, is it right that the self-anointed god of everything, Joe Rogan, has tested positive to COVID and taking ivermectin? Like, how are you, Jack, with the news of that? How is Rob Scurry going to go with the news that their god has been taking ivermectin to treat COVID-19?
Who's my god?
Well, you are a Joe Rogan type of man.
I've rarely ever listened to the podcast. It goes for too long.
I fear for Rob Scurry right now.
Oh my god, it's all happening, eh? It's all happening.
I googled it to see if it was true. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's true. Like, I don't even know what's true anymore. All I know is that when I'm stuck in something for 16 hours, I forget what's going on around me.
Yeah, 16 hours. 16 hours is a proper session.
And that's how long this fucking preview show is going to go for if we don't get stuck into some races.
Oh, wow. Speaking of which, girls, very timely. We are previewing Moonee Valley Race 3, Race 5 and Race 8. We've got the McEwen Stakes and the Feehan, 2 Group 2 races. But, Jack Dickens, are the races going ahead? We've been smacked here in WA overnight with storms. I believe the storm front is going to be hitting Melbourne Friday with lots and lots of millimetres forecast.
Well, our man, young Jackson, is convinced that it's going to be biblical, what's going to happen here, and not in a Liam Gallagher type of way. It's just going to be heavy, heavy rain, and it's not going to be good for ponies. We saw an enormous amount of moisture hit the Moonee Valley surface around this time last year, Peter, and we only got through maybe 4 or 5 races. Yeah. Fields were heavily depleted, and basically every leader won. We've backed one horse in race 3 that has shown that it likes to swim. That's the only proper bet we've had earlier. We've also nibbled one just as a sort of SP map bet later on, which hasn't ever been on a heavy track, but has gotten through and just relishes soft.
Okay, well, you mentioned race 3. Let's start with that race. Generation, $3.30 from Taunting, $3.50. Huesca, I'll call it Huskus. Huskus is $9.
Adam Huskus was a ripper of football. I played for the Swans and then Port, maybe Brisbane. And he was a 16-hour man too, Curls, if you do a bit of do your own research. Adam Huskus was a weapon. He was. On and off the field. He'd be a big Airbnb man, Adam Huskus. Huge!
We've also got Athelric for Ollie and Godolphin, $11. My Numero Uno, $12. And Bifrost, $12. This is a 1,200 metre race, race 3, Moonee Valley. What was the bet you have early?
We've had a small bet at Taunting. So for those playing at home, and we're well in front. I can't actually find the total right now, but we're going to have we're going to have $100. Sorry, you go, Peter.
Oh, plus 690.
It's pretty good. Yeah. We're going to have 100 on race 3, number 6, Taunting. Handled the soft, gets the inform, the very hungry Brady Preble on, replacing Jess Eaton. This horse has only been running around in Adelaide last preparation, but the trial was good. Shown it handles the track. Drawn barrier 5. I think Brett can put this horse, one pair back, probably behind the lead, which I think will be Generation from 11. Will cross. Duke of Dubai showed enough speed to be thereabouts. Scissor Step, Elephants Are Fresh. We love that. Bifrost was forward at its only Australian start, but that was a Pakenham horse. Nana Goon synthetic meeting, so who knows? And then this Huskus, Adam Huskus, drawn 10, gay bot. They love to roll forward, so it looks to be a really good amount of speed here. Interesting to see. Like the race does look like it sets. If it was a firmer track, it looks like it sets up really nicely for Ollie there. Barrier 6, horse has some speed, but not a heap. He gets to sit in behind that good speed. You could sort of say the good riders are starting to come to the fore, but probably not the case just yet. So look, I think Taunting will start favourite. I think it's drawn to get the right run. I think it handles the track conditions. So it's as much of a box tick early bet as you can sort of have with the forecast.
Okay, likeable start. The bets last week that saluted were obviously Tarath and Behemoth for those keeping score at home. Race 5, Group 2, McEwen Stakes over 1,000. Portland Skies favourite at $2.90 from September Run, $3.60. Esther La Rocca, $6.50. The Inferno, also a good drop of booze if you've that way inclined, $8 for Lane and C.I. Brown. Upwards the rest.
Inferno's jump out was a really, really nice piece of work. Just never seen a soft track though, let alone a heavy. So I doubt it runs if the predicted precipitation hits, Peter. So therefore the race gets a little bit thin. Portland Sky, obviously the bomb-proof horse here. It loves this track and trip. It's 1 from 1 on a soft. Hasn't seen a heavy. Last start was Moonee Valley, and it ran second to Masked Crusader, who I think is the best sprinter in the country now. So it's the box ticking horse. It's drawn barrier 9, and it's got old lethargic Luke Curry aboard. So it's probably going to miss the start and settle last and just flash home for a nice performance like he did all of yesterday at Sandown. Luke will start to hit his straps, just a matter of when. I just don't think now is the time. Fine Dane I like, and I like it around the valley, but I don't like barrier 1 with the predicted precipitation. And the most interesting horse here by mile is September Run. September Run's got an SP profile and a form references that are even superior to Portland Skies. Just I can't see them running though. I think this race will be depleted heavily by scratchings if the rain comes. Because September Run is a proper horse, as is Portland Sky. Why would you kick him off on a muddy Moonee Valley?
Yeah, Portland Sky will probably have to go there because it likes to track and trip and win, and so they can talk about the Everest, won't they?
Well, there is that, and then like if you think September Run to curls, as when we had him on the show, Uncle Chris. God, I heard some anyway. He's a platform operator. He's a traditionalist. He likes to keep things the same. So this is probably the run he wants to get to the next run he wants to get to the grand final he wants. So obviously there's all those guys want to run, but it's just a case of if Jackson's right, which often he is, and the predicted precipitation comes, it's just going to be out of everyone's control.
Yes, indeed.
Have we talked about the rain enough, do you reckon?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It was in the noms for the Concord Stakes. Was it September Run? I thought I'd seen it in the All-In market.
I didn't look.
Yeah, I think they're the two-class runners, aren't they? Well, clearly they are.
They're definitely the two-class runners, but like the last time we saw a wet, even if they run, the last time we saw a wet Moonee Valley, it was mad on pace. And with September Run's going to probably get back from that barrier first up. Not going to be suited. And there is right now, as it looks without scratchings, a really good amount of tempo here. Like Ashlaw, Inferno, Wisdom of Water, Fine Day, and Sir Galahad and Estella Rocker all could lead. So first up, they're aiming at the Everest, Portland Sky. They're going to go across. I don't think they will. So
they'll go back and both.
Yeah. Therefore they're both probably not going to be suited. Too many question marks. Don't bet yet. Yep. Wait till you get more information, guys.
And also, as when you said mad on pace, we're not just talking about the leader or OSL were the only two horses in the race. We're talking about a 40-length spread across the entire field as well.
It was unbelievable.
Didn't a horse that won at the Kerrang non-tabs lead all the way at that meeting last year? Because it led?
Yep.
Something like that.
Something like that. There was
what a sport.
Godolphin horse that bet easy put up 240. It was like $1.90 shot.
Zara, I think, was on. Yeah, from memory. Anyway, race 8, the Feehan.
He won't be there on Saturday.
Superstorm, favourite, $5, will be probably last and netting a catapult if that day eventuates. Sierra Sue, 6, Elephant, $6.50. You've got Shot of Irish and the Chosen One around $11. Nonconformist, Best of Days, $13, $14 a piece. Dickens.
Okay, I'll start with the bet, and then I'm going to work back from there and try and explain my thinking. We've had a tiny bet, so I suggest you have maybe $10 on Sovereign Award at $41, I think it was.
It's now 26 best available.
So let's have $20 on at 26, Peter. Number 12, Sovereign Award, who went extremely fast last start, and that may well be the end of it. D-Lane lit the thing up, or he couldn't stop it. It went 12.5 to the 600. Entitled to drop out like shot first up. But its stats here are what's sparked my interest as a starting point. So if you look at the horse itself, you can completely forgive the last run. Its track and distance, it's 4 wins from 5 attempts. It's 4 wins from 6 attempts at the track. It's 6 wins from 8 attempts at the distance. It's 3 wins from 5 starts on a soft and 2 seconds. So every time it's run on a soft track, it's won or run second. It's never seen a heavy. But when its soft data is stronger than its good data, I'm going to make it favourite to go okay on a reasonably heavy track. I'm talking heavy 8s, 9s, not heavy 40s. Yep. Like Jackson's predicting. So I just thought at $41, given it's barrier 7, they can't slow it down too much. It's gonna lead, which we're thinking is going to be the spot to be. I thought at $41 it's a bet to nothing, because the 2 other horses I quite liked in this race were Elephant, who I think they've not given you the opportunity to back it. The price they've gone up, and Sierra Sue. Now that's barrier 1 and barrier 2. So with the rain around, it can't be a good thing to be in there still. Worse than midfield. Superstorm, it's never really performed on a soft, Peter, let alone a heavy. Well, this isn't its grand final. I doubt they run, but if they do, it's going to be worse than midfield and not suited. The import Dawn Patrol, hard to line up completely. Got no idea really, but it's barrier 11, first start. What are they going to do? They're probably going to go back, not suited. Same with Port Guillaume. And then the other horse that half stood out, there's two, is Best of Days, who's going to get a good run, but I don't think wants it soft or heavy. And then Shot of Irish. And if I'm just happy to take on Talia Hope in a group race, basically.
Yeah.
It does look like it swims and it could get the right run, but like seriously, please.
Yeah. Superstorm's only start in the heavy was in the Golden Eagle. He actually finished off pretty well, but he had that really wide gate and was just basically like 8-9 lengths off them the whole time. So I wouldn't pen him on the wet, so to speak. I think Stormy Nova's side of the breeding would probably be okay, but you have to be just sceptical of backing a horse this far out before you know what the track's doing.
Yeah, if you look at his sort of the profile from last prep in Victoria, it was third and fourth up that he really got through his gears.
Yeah.
And I anticipate the same sort of setup here. And Danio's not back yet.
Yeah.
He shall return. You know, but when?
All right, Dickens.
So I'd rather take Danio's other shot at $41.
Indeed. Okay, recapping bets. Race 3, $100 on Taunting at $3.50. Race 8, $20 on Sovereign Award at $26. Currently standing at $570 in profit to start the spring. Very good, Dickens. Shane Curlio, would you like to run us through Eagle Farm? Because I believe you don't have a great deal of time for this meeting.
No time at all for this meeting. This is what happens when the trainers don't want to run horses at Eagle Farm. You get these small fields, and I don't like it at all. Race 1, I don't like. Aswat probably wins. It's got the claim, but it's $3, and it's only had one run at Eagle Farm, and it failed. So I don't really want to take $3, but it can probably win. Race 2, I think on the stream I was talking about Finiscal. Last time I thought it was a good chance at that sort of $8-10 market, ran second, and this is a bad race once again with a few horses that have run at the track and failed. So and that's the theme through the whole meeting. Like race 3 is a 6-horse race over a mile with a few chances. Race 4, we've had a bet, Peter.
Oh,
just the one bet. We're on number 4, Navy Cross. Now, one thing I have been noticing about
it's not hard to tell which one you've backed, is it? It's just they just turn it right off. It's come in 12.5% off what it was. That's why get on board with the King of Queensland, Shane Shelley.
So one of the things that I
Gucci man
have been noticing about these Queensland prices is that there's a number of people just taking the early price, whatever goes up on what they think will start shorter, and it's a thing, right? It's a growing thing, I think. I don't know whether they're Arbors, Arbors. Sorry, not Airbnbs, Arbors.
Airbnbs.
It's easily confusing. I've been looking at the form for 16 hours straight. I don't even know who's called in for a drink. So it's just been something that's been going on. So like this turned off. This was like 480. Well, I think it opened 480, and that price evaporated very quickly. But it's just like it brings a different form line. The others are well exposed. It's just going to lead and run them along, and leading and running along at Eagle Farm in the last few weeks has been a winning formula. So I think it's got 55 kilos as well weighted. Has been at Eagle Farm once prior as a 3-year-old and ran third in the Rough Habit Plate at group level. The horses that beat it home that day were like Ballistic Boy and something else, Super Giant, that have won races since, and a list of winners finished behind it that day. So it should just, with the 55 kilos weighted well against that mob, it should just lead and win, I think. And then you got the rest of the card, Pistol, with horses that have performed well at the track, but there's 2 of them, and they're the standouts, and they're both $2.30, $2.50. You see that through the rest of the card, and I probably just won't get involved at all, really. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I think it's a really quiet betting action day for me. I can't see anything that is overs what it should be. Everything's sort of pretty well found. The scratchings have sort of sorted a few races out to a few chances that could go either way, and there's no sort of value guessing which one of the three can win. So let's hope for a meaty. Let's hope for a better card at the Gold Coast and Toowoomba for us to throw some news.
Stay tuned for that. Let's do some quick fire Q&A, shall we? This is from Max. Maybe be hard with COVID and could change with no mounting yard, but have you ever done analysis on the results of early bets versus bets placed just before the races? Obviously, there's the pro of getting the early prices versus having all the information closer to the race, but possibly missing the best price. It's from Max.
Yeah, we've. If you head to the website, themailbag.com.au, look at the results. The movers product was early, and the mounting yard mail product was late, so you can compare them there for me. Now it's one holistic thing because I like to take positions as the game's changed early sometimes and nibble late. So I think, say, the Moonee Valley meeting, like I've said a few times, there's a heap of predicted precipitation. So I'm only want to take 1 to 2, 3 small positions really early because there's so much more information we're going to get closer to the jump. But, if we're racing at Flemington and there was a tiny bit of rain predicted, I wouldn't care because it's not going to really change the track and they would have awarded that anyway. I might do... So, like, last week we spent 10.5 units at Caulfield and we won. It was the right decisions. This week we're going to spend 2.2 units before the first at Moonee Valley because there's a lot more variables. It's just it's one whole thing for me now. Yeah. And there's so many different variables that mean that late's better or late's worse each time.
They're just individual factors. If you've got a horse marked as an overlay and it's got a good map, what are you waiting for? Yeah,
well, say last week too. So we want to be with Turrith. Right, I marked Turrith $1.60. If I overrate how important it is to see the horses, and that I can't make a decision without seeing the horses or knowing the track pattern. Once I see the horse parade okay or well, instead of taking $2.20, which we did take, I've now got to make a decision about taking $1.60.
Yep.
And so then you probably wouldn't take $1.60 even if you found $1.55. That wouldn't be enough of an edge for me. Then there's no bet. We missed a winner. So with the NBLs and Curly in Queensland, sort of. I think it's like at a different life cycle at the moment to what it is in Victoria, where there's, like Curly's saying, it's kind of like get in quick and just smack them. It's not like been a lot of work done at Moonee Valley because no one knows what the track's going to do because of the predicted precipitation.
And worst case, hypothetically, if Turaf paraded awful, you've got the opportunity to hedge, leverage, trade out, whatever you want.
But sort of like it's not the be all and end all, but the early bets, I expect them to win or be great bets, but I really want them to beat the market so we can make another decision if we want to, either to get out of that one horse or we can add a few more to our team because we've beaten the market. Yep. So Curly's going to head to race 4 at Eagle Farm, I think, and he's going to beat the market by like probably 17% by the time that comes. So he's going to be in a position where he's allowed easily within his own book to back one or two others if he wants. And particularly if I was race 8 and it had been like a clear pattern that he can eliminate half the horses again, it'll probably leave him with one or two that he wants to be with that he isn't already with. And because he's in a great position, he can do that.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of variables go into it, a little bit of guesswork as well in betting into the right races where you think the price is going to shorten and the field's going to hold up. There was one yesterday that I took a great early price, and then after race 2, it tripled in price because one of the mapped leaders was scratched, and there was no way you could make ground. So it was dead. The bet was dead, effectively. So a lot of variables go into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm taking the big overlays and betting late. And bet the drift. Do you see how much I've been betting the drift at the provincials? A lot.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, this is from
Thanks, Peter.
Serby. Well, we've got 2 more. 3 more. This is from Serby. How do you adjust ratings and prices for horses first time around the Valley, e.g. Superstorm this weekend? Are there signs you can look to that say a certain horse will handle it better than others?
It's a good question.
Yep, it is.
To keep it simple, I just wanted, if you were worried about it, you want it to have some speed so it can settle a bit further forward than midfield, and you want it to be drawn sort of 3 to 7, so it's likely to be one pair off or rails in run, so it gets help cornering, but it's not too far back to make ground once it's cornered. So, like, if it's got to go back and then it's got to circle, because they're going the fastest they go, I'd say on average at Moonee Valley would be while they go past the Legends Bar, which is the corner coming into the straight. And then they're kind of just like last man standing in the straight. So they're really accelerating as they're turning sharply. So if you can be in the pack getting like helped, I think that's an asset to a horse their first time. But it's certainly a unique track that suits certain horses. There'd be rule number 1, which is rule number 1, always was and always will be. Don't force it. If you're not confident that Superstorm, like we are, I'm thinking it's going to go worse in midfield. Not going to be taking any risk. Ollie's not going to be taking any risk. Like Ollie and Willow are just about to win so much prize money. They would just like they wouldn't be able to sleep if they got suspended for taking a stupid risk in the next couple of weeks. So they're not going to barge out on Superstorm. That's why yesterday race 1, you just love to see the goat just get those massive pythons and just hit 3 wide, no cover, out of trouble, clear air, beautiful.
Yep.
And yell really loud.
Oh, does he yell? Does he?
Apparently.
Big yeller.
We've got one from Rosie here, Mug Punter. With all the Lloyd Williams runners in on Saturday at the Valley, how do you handle them when you do your form?
Just watch the market. Try and avoid betting in the races they're in heavily if they're backed.
Yeah.
How would you know?
Yeah.
They wouldn't know.
Who's training Lloyd's at the moment?
Lloyd.
Who's officially training Lloyd's? Yeah.
I don't know. They got. Wonder who's going to ride him because it'll be Jai, I guess. Because Mellon was the man.
Jamie was on a few as well, wasn't she, last year? Or was that just one? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I can't even find one. Yeah. Okay. Tigsy's got a question.
I got a question from me. I got a question from me first.
Oh.
Curls. Like, with the Gucci loafers, no sock operator. Would you go to the shops right now? I'm assuming you've got tracksuit pants on and the mailbag hoodie. Mm-hmm. Would you go to the shops right now and just like grab the bread or whatever in the Gucci loafers and the hoodie?
Yeah, I've given up concerning myself with how I look in public. It's not really Gucci loafer weather though. It has been raining a little bit up here. So I'm certainly not going to get them wet.
Have you got the waterproof spray yet?
The dubbin. Do you dubbin them? Like
No. Gucci shoes don't have any exterior liquids or polishes or anything like that.
Until he puts his rum and shit all over it, he spills it.
Nah. They're exclusively for yearling sales and walking around dodging horse shit with my chino shorts and my cotton shirt. I look forward to bringing out come January.
Which branded hat are you going for? Are you going for the Mercedes? Are you going for the...
Nah, we're going with the Cobras. I'm going to buy everyone a Cobras.
Well, I won't be wearing a Cobra because I'm an Italian descent and I don't wear a Cobras.
Mate, Aaron will... do your research, mate. Do some research.
I'm not wearing a Cobras.
Do some research on Aaron Williams.
No, I'm not wearing a Cobras. I don't care. Those hats don't suit myself.
I can't wait to get into Cobra. I'll look like a scarecrow. It'll be great. I'll terrify people.
You look like a tab account. You look like a tab account manager. How do I come up with this shit, honestly?
I'll be doing myself. That was your best from Monday. Anyway, question from Tiggs. with the heavy rain forecast, surely barrier 1 for Bella Nipotina is probably no good, and current prices unders are Wild Planet, away game, Pintoff, etc. better suited, drawn wide and coming with sweeping runs wide and up the middle of the straight. Tiggs, as usual, you're probably spot on right. The way we priced them, we sort of found Bella Nipotina, but just like you're saying, when there's no way we're going to pull the trigger at this point, I think if the track was firm, it deserves to be the price it is, but yeah, it's favourite to not be firm, so it's not a bet. And just on cue, here he is. What's he got on him?
A week ahead? Oh no, we don't do that today, do we?
We've already announced the show as being the deep dive. And,
Oh yeah, we have.
That's all right. We'll edit it out in post. No one will notice. All right.
Mate, please. You're covered in crap. Oh, we'll get on me.
Extra.
Hearing.
Come on.
Right, that's probably the show because he's not going to go anywhere, guys. Don't blame me. Blame Danny Andrews, who's shut down daycare centres for non-essential workers, but not going to. Again, maybe it's because we're letting people vote who ingest horse wormer to get rid of COVID. The democracy is fucked.
Bye for now.
Get the Platinum Pack and bet with us every single day.